Oh wait, we're not live yet.
Okay.
At least we
I'm waiting for it to
listen to the
say
song
we're live.
twice.
I am particularly offended by other people's bad habits that are not the same as my own at the present time. The way they always do those things, this and that and other stuff that I don't have the time, money, or energy to do anymore. But if you've got some things to say about stuff I do every day, that is not the same as yourself at the present time. Who, tell me who, that's WHO, died and made you king.
Be me. Be playing WoW. See group of players assembled. Standing around chanting, Black Lives Matter. Ask why a bunch of orcs are standing around and not grinding raids. Get immediately banned for interrupting a Black Lives Matter in-game protest. My face when Orc Lives Matter should be trending on Twitter.
Very good.
You gotta be grinding.
Gotta be grinding.
Yeah, what are you on there for if you ain't grinding?
Yeah.
Fucking around. Ain't getting nothing done.
Did you guys see the PS5 reveal? Did you see that shit?
I did. I watched some
yeah.
of it, yeah. I see people are really excited about a game I've never played, but I guess is popular, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and there's a cat game
It's pretty good.
where you can solve crimes as a cat.
It's like running around like a Neo kind of.
It's like Crash
Futuristic.
Bandicoot if Crash Bandicoot had guns.
The one I'm excited about is a new, and I have the original here, a new Abe's Odyssey game.
Oh.
Ooh.
You guys ever played this? This
Ooh.
game is hard as shit.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I played a demo of it.
It's like a side-scrolling puzzle game, really hard. I'm excited about another one of those because that game was, I mean, that game company was, I thought it was out of business for a few years. So
Yeah.
somehow they've made a comeback. And of course, there's a remake of Demon's Souls. That's exciting, which is probably the hardest game I've ever played. Could not finish it, but I'll give it another shot.
They say when it's coming out. When PS5's is it going to be this Christmas? Is that
It's later this year,
Okay.
but they haven't given an exact date.
same?
I'm
for
also
Xbox?
excited.
Oh.
I found this. I thought I had bought it like.
Oh,
2
you
weeks
finally
ago.
found it.
Yeah, I finally found it. Patrick and I went to this brewery.
Yep.
I mean, it's the
Nelson
Bell
Greenbrier.
Mead, but it was like the Nelson Greenbrier is the original name of this. This was like this distillery, not a brewery. It's a distillery that was reopened. It was like pre-Prohibition, and then Prohibition shut it down. And then the great grandsons figured out they were like, related to this. They were descendants of these people, so they reopened the thing, and they got the original recipe and remade the whiskey from back in like 1860 or whatever it was. That's pretty good. It's it's all corn, so it's pretty sweet, but on the front end, and then it's a little harsh on the swallow a little bit. But it's only $30 for some real Tennessee whiskey. It's pretty good. It's definitely better than the one whiskey Tennessee's known for, the Jack Daniels, which is horrendous. Don't ever buy Jack, people.
Lots of corn in that Jack.
Lots of corn raisins.
Nathan, I'm so glad the shopping list for you involves buying obscure whiskey and Abe's Odyssey.
That's all it takes.
That's what you come home with today. I got Abe's Odyssey and sour mash whiskey.
I'm an easy day.
It was on my list.
Yeah. And shelving. Yeah, I got shelving.
Yeah, you got shelving. Hey, it's week 2 with the new shelving.
Week 2, new shelving. Our
relationship
is going strong. Me and the shelf.
Standing strong.
It's not.
No, I haven't run into it.
It's not getting in the way.
It seems like it's really holding up.
Yeah, I mean, it's sturdy. It's very sturdy.
I see Dave giving her the hairy eyeball over there.
I'm sorry, Dave. I was just quicker on the trigger.
It bears up as hard as it is to live with me. It's bearing up. So, hey, Dave. Dave, it makes me happy when you smile, and I see you smiling now, especially in the eyes. And when I see it in the eyes, I know it's real. I know it's real.
Do you? I'm here, man.
Yeah.
Propped up. I'll make it.
You guys,
Life's good.
You know the
Yeah,
guy
they
that
say.
sings that "Prop Me Up" beside the jukebox if I die. You know he died, and I doubt anyone propped him up beside any jukeboxes.
Beside the jukebox when I die.
That's it.
Is that it?
There it goes.
That's the one. Yeah.
Huh.
Lord, I
Guy's
wanna go to heaven, but I don't wanna go tonight.
Yep.
Something about filling his boots up with sand. Put a stiff drink in his
Why
hand.
wouldn't they lean his?
Why does he want to be
wouldn't they-
beside
why
the
wouldn't they lure a
jukebox?
jukebox
It's like the
down
weekend
into-
at Bernie's of country music.
Right.
What is he gonna do with it though?
Well, he wants to go to heaven, but he doesn't want to go tonight. So if he dies, just prop him up beside the jukebox.
He still wants to. He still wants to party.
Trying to
I
hang
still don't
out.
understand why he wants to be propped up by the jukebox.
Because that's where
'Cause
the
that's where he
party's
wants to
at,
go.
man.
He's gonna be scaring anybody to go to the jukebox.
No, they
Put
won't know
money
he's
into
died.
the jukebox to play music.
They won't. They
They'll
won't
still
know
be
he
there
died.
singing that song.
He'll be tapping his
They're gonna
toes.
He'll
smell it.
already be a skeleton with a cowboy hat on, singing "Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox When I Die."
Hey,
But
there's
he's
a new
skeleton.
karaoke pick for you, Brad.
Yeah.
I might.
It's in your wheelhouse.
Karaoke's ever a thing again.
I was behind a Tennessee plate today, and the county was Grundy.
Oh,
Wonder if
I
they've
didn't
been
know
winning
that was
auctions.
really in Tennessee.
I didn't know. I didn't know there was
Where is
actually a
that?
Grundy County.
Where's
Tennessee.
that Grundy County?
You guys have heard
You want to
of the
see a good
Grundy.
karaoke song?
Yes, Grundy County auction.
no.
I mean,
never
just
heard of it.
because I live in Tennessee don't mean I know what every one of the 89 counties are.
Well, on the
Is it
off
actually-
chance that maybe you did.
Wait, do you actually know? Is 89 counties right though? Did you actually know? Is that the real number of counties, or did you?
There's
just
no
say that?
chance.
There's a Grundy
if
County,
you did?
Somebody
Somebody fact check and tell
Tennessee
me how
and
many
Illinois.
counties.
Brad's
We
on.
got any watchers on it?
Grundy is a little west of Chattanooga, a little northwest. Of
Oh,
Chattanooga.
kind of close to
Close
an area
by.
that Dave might actually be familiar
Yeah.
with. Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Dave's the closest one to that Grundy County.
Is he
Grundy
frozen?
just-
No, he's not
sing
frozen.
the song.
He's not
He's not
frozen.
frozen. I saw
He's
a
just-
flash of light.
Angry.
He's like, I don't want to admit, I know where that is.
I've been there. I've even been to the auction you speak of. And I saw a pretty lady. I wanted her to give me a sign. I would have given anything to make her mine all mine. I'd do her bidding
Not
and
me,
be at
mine.
her beck and call.
I wrote a
Is
song
it
about
coming?
Grundy
Is
County.
it coming to you now, Patrick?
Oh yeah, I know. I picked up on that.
I mean, Dolly Parton hasn't sung the song yet, but I wrote a song about Grundy County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
going to
Can
let.
you sing a piece of it?
You grabbing
Yeah.
your guitar just slightly off camera right now.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
Look,
He's grabbing something.
or he's grabbing a cat.
Shit. I used the strings to make a raccoon trap. My bad.
Priorities, I get it.
I lost my undies in Grundy County. Gave them up for good. I'm too old for undies.
Two old Grundys.
That's all you get.
But yeah,
You have to prop me up by the jukebox and pay me with quarters.
Yeah, we'll have to pay royalties if you go any further.
yeah, we'll
We
fucking
can't-
we'll
I
get
might
shut down.
cut that part out and add some guitar. To
Yeah.
that.
Oh no, make it dubstep. Yeah, make it
Use
dubstep.
dubstep.
Yeah. Okay, who have I said hi to?
Just me.
Nobody. It's Dave. Patrick.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, let's
Sounds
go,
good.
man.
Good. I went bow fishing Sunday. That was
Oh,
cool.
the continuation of the story.
Yeah. I unfortunately didn't get anything.
Did
I
you
was
get
so
to?
close several times.
Oh, you did. You got to shoot at something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Saturday night. That's apparently when the fish are more active to shoot at. So
would
Everybody's
it
more active on Saturday night.
be? Would it be accurate to say that
yeah.
you're hooked?
Yeah, they're out line
No.
dancing.
I'm not hooked just yet. Till I get my first one.
Trying to.
Then I'll get my boat.
Get a real cheesy picture so we can have it shown on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say you're shooting fish?
We should make it a thumbnail. We could really lure in some people.
He's back at it again, folks.
Can't stop that, Dave.
He's back
Have
in
you
the
ever
saddle.
shot a fish in a barrel before?
Nope. I only shot at fish with a bow and arrow in the river.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you make the bow and arrow yourself?
I've not made it, but you can go out and purchase a bow and arrow.
I just see Patrick at an anvil and some shit. Tang, tang, going all Skyrim, making a bow.
Loincloth and a fucking bone he's whittled down and broken against the rock.
He's like, I'm not sure if I'm into this yet. I gotta get one first.
I can't get that deep. Yeah.
After you get your first kill, everything's gonna change.
Yep.
Just trying to level up my crafting. I don't know about the hunting aspect at this point.
He's just got a mountain of fish and a mountain of sticks.
I have 50 iron knives I have to make first.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it works.
Hey, Steve-O.
Hey. Hang on.
Shit.
Whoa.
Is that a gator?
Yeah, that is the sound I make when I realize that I'm not as talented as this fella playing a saxophone into a tube that is echoing back what he's playing, and he's playing on rhythm. Check this out.
These saxophonists in public always doing weird shit.
Whatever, man. I thought you'd love that. I think it's pretty awesome.
That's cool as hell.
Go play
I
into
liked
a
it.
tube. Why don't you go play into a tube? Oh no!
You hoser.
I think he froze.
Oh, I didn't say that. I mean,
okay, you're back.
just whatever.
It's been a good week.
He had a repeater. Without electronics.
A real live repeater. Yeah. I'm sure it didn't take him long to figure out how to play it on time. I just thought it was really neat. Thought it'd be a neat thing to play. The other thing was, indeed, yes, that is an actual human alligator.
A human alligator.
Yeah. Does it scare you?
No, I'm
It's a
still
video,
trying
no.
to figure out what a human alligator is.
One whole U.S.
You not seen
alligator.
Spider-Man?
Use your imagination, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard that, I went, I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Good. Then you learned your
They
lesson.
can live in your toilet, Dave. You know that.
Protect the dangling bits.
Yeah.
Bangling dits.
It's the tastiest of the meat when they go grab him with their big human gator jaw.
I I like me some gator brisket.
Get the dangly bits first.
Hey, Brad.
Hi. Ooh, I'm doing good. I had a good day. 6 hours of it was spent driving up to Jacksonville to plug in 2 things and then go on top of a very tall building and twist the thing around and then go door to door in the neighborhood and just be like, hey, we have internet service here. I'm not going to try to sell it to you, but just letting you know. Call that number up. Ask for me. And that's it. Like, that was my whole day.
That's
I didn't know you
amazing.
did. I didn't know
Yeah.
you did like door knocking in informative.
That was the only time I've done
Okay.
it, and it was in a very small neighborhood where they probably had shitty internet. So, and I'll get a commission if any of them sign up. So I was like, okay, I reckon I could do that because I had 2 things to do in Jacksonville today, and neither one of them took a long time to do. But had to make it worth my while. So they were like, hey, you wanna do that after you get done? Instead of just driving on back. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So it's an easy day. I got to have lunch at some place that was on the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And
Oh, that's cool.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Was Guy Fieri there?
In spirit.
In spirit, he was. You could walk in and tell Guy Fieri had been in that building.
Yeah, the greasy cologne mixture. Like he's like half grease, half cologne.
The walls
His numbers
were
on
greasy,
the
but the booths were all
bathroom
clean.
stall wall.
Yes.
Did everything have like the flame button-up short sleeve shirt?
Everything that he wore did.
Salt shakers, pepper shakers. Had little flaming shirts on.
Basic
The
ones.
hamburger buns, flaming shirts.
The hamburger buns had flaming shirts on them. Yes, that's correct.
What was this fucking place? Was it good?
It was a place called Metro Diner, and I got the chicken and waffles, and they were fucking good. I got the biscuits and gravy, and they were good. And they got the cheesy grits, but I meant to say cheesy hash browns, but I said grits instead. And as soon as I added salt and pepper and stirred that bitch up, they were good too.
Hey, I found that picture of your chicken and waffles. Damn.
Yep.
Oh, they be banging.
That looks really good.
They were good.
Looks legit. Yeah.
Yeah, some dude. It's
Is it
like,
cinnamon
Is it
butter?
watermelon?
It looks like cinnamon butter.
Yeah, it's
It
like
looks like
raspberry
strawberry
cinnamon butter, I think, or
Oh,
maybe
raspberry
strawberry butter.
cinnamon. Wow.
Raspberry or strawberry butter. It was
Wait,
good.
this place
They
has
give you a-
bagel or has waffles and pancakes?
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah, they're fancy. That's why they were on TV.
I didn't know that was allowed. Have both.
Yeah,
Yeah, waffles and pancakes at
Oh,
the
by
same
the-
that's how they got
time.
on
By the
TV.
way, thank you, Daryl.
It's
Joe
crazy.
Diffie is the one that wants to be propped up by the jukebox, but he's dead.
Joe Diffie.
Joe Diffie.
Well, he's propped up by the jukebox, so he's
Rest
fine.
in peace, Joe Diffie. Sorry the corona got you.
Yeah.
The corona had gotten him.
It gets everybody.
Yeah, everyone dies because of
If you
corona.
die this year,
Yeah,
Good old Joe Diffie Stiffy.
because your hospital gets more money if they mark you down as corona.
no,
Oh,
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's
Huh.
right.
So that's what I've
$15,873.47.
heard. Yeah. It's the 47
Every one
cents
of the 89 counties.
in
That's
Tennessee.
the amount.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
I'm glad you guys fact check. I'm here to teach.
That's what Daryl.
I would never fact. Yeah, there's not even any point of checking Dave anymore.
Well, yeah, he already
No
knows.
point.
he's always right. I mean,
He wrote the song about it.
he did.
Did I?
If you didn't, then you played the triangle on it.
I've just wrote so many songs I've lost track.
Yeah, he's got an archive like Prince. You know, he's got this vault of just songs. There's little crumpled up pieces of paper. He just throws them in there.
Napkins.
He crumples that piece of paper, throws it away, and then Celine Dion picks it up. It says, ooh,
Stuffed
ooh,
it in
what's-
her shirt real
what's
fast
this?
and looked around.
yeah.
She bet me once I couldn't write a song on the back of her business card. One. winning.
You just wrote the word baby on it.
Baby, oh baby.
Three, 4 times, yeah. You may have heard it. She sings it a lot.
Bekah,
Hello.
I saw you writing things.
Oh yeah, I'm having a great time over here. You guys are giving me a lot of excellent material to work with.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It gives me good outlook for the rest of the show.
Don't get too excited.
How are you?
We just started.
Oh, I've had a wonderful week. I got to do some really cool stuff. There was word of some rocket pieces being transported, and it was going to be done by train. So we got up super early, like 6 a.m. to try and be out there because Steve had heard that it would probably be around 7 or 8, and so we got up super early and went out there. And we were investigating the areas that it was supposed to be at some point, and just kind of waiting around. That's a lot of what you do in these types of situations. We waited for a while, and then was it somebody showed up that you knew and started hanging out, and then we waited for a couple hours or so, and a guy, we were sitting at we started over at the bridge, right? Or
at the there's a spot, and I'm showing pictures over here if you guys haven't noticed. There was a spot just north of Kennedy Space Center where there's a railroad crossing that they used to bring the boosters over, and I talked to a couple people that kind of know this stuff, and they said, well, if there's a good place to see it, it's going to be there. But nobody knew when or where the train actually was. But we got a tip. We got up. First I told Bekah, I was like, well, I have no idea when this is going to be, so maybe we leave at like 7:30. And she's like, okay, cool. I said, well, what if I said 7 a.m.? She just closed, by the way. That night she was closing. Yeah. I don't want to steal your story.
Let's go at 4 a.m. I don't care.
Yeah.
So it was basically a mission because we knew of a thing that might be somewhere, but we didn't know where and if it was actually going to be there and what time and all this stuff. So it was a mission. It was investigation. And we sat in this area where you can park by the water and watched the train tracks forever. And
literally hours.
I used the binoculars and I was looking and we saw what we thought was a couple of train cars hidden by some trees, and we were watching that area for a while and just hours and hours, and then finally we see it start moving, and we know that we have to wait for the bridge to go down for the train to be able to go over it.
Yeah, a friend of mine had just to like help out with that. A friend of mine had told me, like, hey, if you go over to this other spot, you'll be able to look across the water and see this bridge that is it's a train drawbridge. Hang on, I'm trying to find these photos here. Okay. Wait, that's not mine, that's Ken's. Here we go. It's a train drawbridge, and they would use this, and he said if the drawbridge is up, then you know that you're good, that nothing's happened yet. And so that's where we sat. And Bekah actually spotted the train. I don't have any photos of the train on my computer, like where we couldn't. It would be pointless to even do anything with those photos, so I don't have them on my computer. But off to the left of this, they were like hidden behind some trees. And
I reenact, Bekah, what you said when you finally saw the train.
Man, I don't know. It was probably something like egad.
Egad, your go-to. That's your normal go-to.
Eureka.
Gadzooks.
Eureka.
No, it was probably like, is that train cars there? Something
That a
probably like
motherfucking
that.
train?
And I'm like, shut up. You don't know anything about rockets.
And I deserve that. And so, yeah, it eventually started moving. We ended up waiting for 7 hours for all of this. And so we got up super early to wait for 7 hours, which was fun. It was a super fun day anyway.
Yeah.
Got to be outside all day and looking at stuff. And it was really exciting, even with all the waiting where there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
And then the next day, there was a booster return, a Falcon 9 booster. and that was also going to be a 6 a.m. wake up kind of situation. It was supposed to come in also around 7 or 8, and I got to go to Jetty Park for the first time in Cape Canaveral, and it was exactly what I was hoping it would be. It's like being able to stand and look at the water, but also have like rocks. That's what I've always wanted to see, is like the rocky beach
water
thing.
and rocks.
There it is, right there. And it was a beautiful freaking morning. It was the most beautiful morning, and it was really freaking cool to watch. And I got to take a couple of pictures of it that I thought turned out pretty good, and I had a really, really good time. It was really freaking cool to see all that stuff.
I think it'd be fun for everyone to try to caption this.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll have some of those for next week. I could do something.
Oh, for next, wow, you're gonna put some real thought into.
Well, I gotta meme them. I gotta meme it out.
Yeah, I mean it's a good picture, and I'm glad with how it turned out. But I was thinking like what to do on verbal assault with it. I was like, maybe people have funny things to say about it.
Right. I mean, it's like
make fun of it,
library.
everyone.
Yeah. Do what? What'd you
It
say?
says inspiration or something.
it's the end of the journey to the holy pilgrimage to the holy pole. I don't know.
Yeah.
The holy pole.
The holy pole.
The holy poly.
Bowl.
The caption is, "I'm suddenly craving a hot dog."
Is that a boner on your boat, or are you just happy to see me? Yeah.
We'll have better ones for next week.
Yeah, we'll do our homework for next week. Yeah. So Bekah got to see the booster come back. She had gone up there with me one time to see it, but the problem was the place that I wanted to see it from was way down at the end of the port, the channel, and you didn't really get close. But from here, you get really close, and I guess I kind of forget how most people aren't, they don't get that opportunity. It's pretty neat to be that close because it's fucking huge, and I know that you guys haven't even gotten to see it across the water here yet, but when it's coming down the middle of the channel, it's actually pretty close to you. And you really get a sense of the size of it, and obviously you see people walking around on it, and it's just they're huge. I mean, it's not even that big of a rocket in terms of rockets, but it's cool. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, and the thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I watched the little tugboats do their thing and push it around.
Yeah.
Make it go places.
Yeah, it's kind of neat doing. Let's see, I don't know if I mean, I have this one here. Oh shit, it's another. I didn't mean to do the big one. Where's the smaller one? There. Yeah, they all line up because there's only one tug that pulls it out to the ocean, and you can see it like on the front over here. That's Finn Falgot. And then whenever it gets into port, a couple others come out and they assist it in bringing it in. And so it's kind of like a fleet of tugs pushing it around. It's kind of neat. But I never did say what that other thing was, the train thing that we were waiting for. Let me see. Go back.
Yeah, you did just sort of talk about that you were waiting for a train and then you saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, so what it was is, okay, so you guys remember picture the shuttle in your mind, the two big solid rocket boosters, the big white boosters on the side of the shuttle. Well, the new SLS rocket is going to have those two. The whole idea behind SLS was it was supposed to be derived from shuttle hardware, which was supposed to make it easier and cheaper to build, but it's way behind schedule and way over budget. But what they were doing is they were bringing in these segments of it. They separate it for shipment. They separate it into segments, and there's 5 segments per, and there's 2 boosters, so there's 10 of these segments, and that's kind of what all the hubbub was about, because it's the first time since the space shuttle that these big solid rocket boosters have been transported into Kennedy Space Center. Mm-hmm. And I have, let's see. Oh yes, this one.
None of those engineers gave a fuck that you were there taking pictures.
Do not hump.
Oh yeah, Steve-O had hard time with this one.
Got a hole right there for him too.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say none of the engineers had a problem with it, because at like one point I went directly up to one of their trucks and like smiled at the guy and was like, "Do you mind if we like run over here on the tracks and take pictures?" And he was like, "I don't see why not." Yeah, it wasn't really a big deal. They actually
like, "Excuse me, mister, can we do what we want?"
We promise not to hump.
Well, the other,
or do we?
The other guy that we were with he's a guy, another photographer and reporter around here that I actually really like. His name's Ken Kramer. And wait, this show is where Ken Kramer came from, right? Brad was the first one to say,
"Good day,
Ken Kramer."
Kramer.
But
good day.
He was a little bit worried about it. You know, he kind of expressed some concern throughout the day, and I'm like, man, I don't think so. And even if if some security comes up, all they're going to do is ask us to leave. And then, but what was funny is right before the train came through, all these, like all the train workers and then like NASA personnel and stuff came up, and they were totally fine with us being there. So it all turned out just fine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It was good.
Bekah, you had something else. You had a video, didn't you? No, we talked about something last week. Is this an update to that?
Oh, I don't think I ever actually talked about it on the show.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it was
okay.
It was brought up afterward. I have I told any of you guys about it, about the guy that offered for me to come sing with his band?
Yeah, I guess you did.
You told us about it.
Okay.
But I don't think on the show.
Okay. Well, basically, I'll just do kind of like a Cliff's Notes version of it in case I haven't told the story. Had a customer that's been coming in to my place of business for a while, and he's a real cool dude, and so built a rapport with him and had multiple conversations. He'd always come in and order his pizza and wait for it and talk while it was cooking. And there was one time that the conversation had gotten on that he plays in a band, and I, as a person that has always loved singing, always jokingly say, "Hey, you looking for a singer?" kind of thing. And he was like, "Actually, yeah." And he told me that he plays in this band with a couple other dudes, and it's just kind of like they just really like doing it. They cover soul songs for the most part. And he said, anytime you want to come down, come down and sing a couple songs with us. And we talked about it for just months. It feels like he would come in every couple of days and we'd talk about it. And eventually found out that the only nights that they play are 2 nights that I have other responsibilities. And so I told him it wasn't likely that it was going to be able to happen. And one of those nights is a Thursday, and we do our other show, Pressing for Flight, on Thursdays. And so we basically just kind of waited for the DM2 launch so that we could talk about that the whole time and then talk about it afterwards. And then once that was over, we postponed, or we didn't do a show one night, and we planned to go out to this thing. And so the guy had me write out a list of songs for him, songs that I like to sing. And I did that. And I spent several days putting songs on the list. And the one thing that I regret is that I gave him the list and I didn't make a copy of it. So I don't remember what songs I put on it. And after I gave him the list, he would, still come in every once in a while and say, so what will probably happen is, we'll maybe play a couple of the songs on your list, or, if any of the guys know any of them. And it was a weird situation that I didn't know exactly what to expect. It seemed like one thing and ended up being different than
completely
very different than what I had expected.
It was nothing. Well, I mean, there was a band. There were
there
were instruments being played.
So what does this mean? Cut to the chase. What does that mean?
All right, cut to the chase. So Thursday, get out there at a decent time. I was able to leave work early and get out there at a decent time and find the place. And it's a building that is 3 separate businesses. What it appears
It's
like.
2 barbershops and a private band club.
Yeah.
2 barbershops and a private band club.
Yeah, so there's this door in between the 2 barbershops that just says, I guess his name was Charles Harris. Charles Harris, Park Avenue.
Yeah, the Park Avenue Band.
Park Avenue Band.
Yeah, and he's like related to somebody that you had heard of. He's like somebody's cousin.
Lou Rawls.
Lou Rawl. Okay, David. Dave gives us
Lou Rawls.
Dave gives us a
We've doxed Lou Rawls. Yeah, I know Lou Rawls. We've doxed Lou Rawls' cousin's band name.
Band name. Yeah.
So this door is in between the 2 barbershops, and it's lit up by like blue LED lights, and we're just sitting out there. We took a shot, and then the guy that I had been talking to about it the whole time comes out the door, and he's like,
Wait,
"Hey,
by the way, Becca on the way."
A shot outside the door.
Don't skim over that. Becca. Okay, so she'd asked me if I was planning on getting beer or something, and I was yeah. So she said, "Well, let's go to ABC so you can get some kind of beer, and then I can get what I need."
I want White Claw or at the liquor store.
Right. Yeah, they have more options. But she sees this bucket of airplane bottles of Fireball for $20, and it's 20 of the airplane bottles. Jesus. So she fucking buys that shit.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, if we're going down this route, the other thing we definitely can't glaze over is we were going to the checkout, and they had a display of cheeses. And
oh my God.
Oh my God.
I guess Steve-O was hungry, so he's like, I'm gonna get some string cheese. And he grabs a couple of string cheeses. He weighs out his options. I think he had a couple of them in his hand, and then he saw the ones, Nathan, that are the string cheese that are wrapped in like salami, the paninos or whatever they're called. So he got one of those instead of the string cheese
of 3. Yeah.
Anyway, he's eating the string cheese in the car, and we get to the place, and I'm like, "You want to take a shot?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he pulls his battery bank out of his pocket. It's the thing that you know what a battery bank is. Everybody knows what that is. And he's for some reason inspecting it. I'm not sure why, but he sees in the charge hole there's something in it, and he goes, "Look at that! Would you believe that? There's a piece of cheese in there." And then he blows it out, and he's like, "Well, he can't waste good cheese," and he eats it. But it wasn't. It was deodorant.
It was deodorant. Somehow deodorant had found its way into my battery bank charging hole.
You're like, this is
that makes it
preposterous.
So
it was supposed to be cheese inside of my battery bank.
Why isn't this cheese?
Deodorant?
Well, because my battery bank was in my lap while I'm eating cheese, and it's string cheese. Little bits and flakes can flake off, and it's like, well, I don't want to just.
You hold your battery bank and your deodorant right next to each other when you're getting ready in the morning.
Yeah.
Just so you have
I forgot that I had done that. That you take the stick of deodorant with the battery bank, and
just
you
trying
spread
to save
it.
time.
Yeah,
But the power was out, and it had a light on the side of the battery bank, so that way I had to see where I was.
All right, so back to the real story. So guy comes out, and he's like, "Glad you could make it. Come on up," and opens the door, and it is a staircase going up that is like covered in like velvet carpet.
This sounds like a sex dungeon.
A sex attic.
It's upstairs. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sex attic.
All right. So go up the stairs, and the room opens up around me, and it is it's an upstairs unit of a building, and the walls are covered in like shiny streamers, and it's decorated, and there's tables with stuff on them, and there's a little bar in the back that's probably not a real bar. It's just like for.
Is there rows of couches?
No,
There's
I
a
don't
couple
think
tables
so.
with chairs.
No rows.
Yeah, tables and chairs.
It's a place you could have you could have shows, but it seems to me like it's more or less a practice space for them.
Right.
Yeah, because the whole front of it was like a stage, and it was an actual stage, and there was a keyboard, a really big keyboard, and there was the drums and a couple of microphones here and there, and different spots and different stations with different instruments. There was like a very purple saxophone.
Oh, yeah.
A very purple saxophone?
It was a purple saxophone.
Yeah.
Some bongos.
It sounded like this.
Except more purple.
Yeah, this is not purple enough.
Well, we actually never did hear the saxophone because when we arrived, he was the only person there, seemingly,
Who
the
was
guy that had
not
invited me.
Yeah.
And
And he saw Steve-O and he was like, oh.
He's like, damn
lame.
it. He's like, what are you doing here?
Well, you got to sing it all.
Well, so I was expecting there to be like maybe 10 people there, like
Some
an
people,
amount of people.
Yeah.
But there was nobody. It was like getting to church early is what it felt like.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
And then he says, well, Charles is here, but he's in the back eating his dinner. Okay, that's odd, but okay. And he'll come out soon and we'll introduce you. He comes out and he is 70, 80,
Sure.
you think?
Yeah.
70, 80
Sure.
Got a hot pocket in his hand.
And he's real small and real skinny, and he introduces himself and I shake his hand and I tell him my name, and he goes up to the stage and sits at the drum kit, and I'm like, this is the drummer. Okay. And he starts talking. He's standing at the drum kit and he's sitting at the drum kit and he's got a microphone and he starts talking, and I wish I could remember what he said, but it was something like, now when you're here you just got to feel the music. You just gotta open up your soul, and you just gotta have a good time, and you just gotta feel it. It was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, now I'm gonna.
And he was like,
yeah.
He was like skiddly bop de bop, and then he unzipped his pants.
They were sweatpants, so there was no unzipping involved.
Yeah.
So he goes, all right, I'm gonna play you a song, and I want you to listen to it. I'm like, okay. So he turns around and there's like a CD player behind him, and he hits play. And he plays this song called Baby by Carla something. Very first time I'd ever heard the song, and we listened to it and, just bopped along to it. And then he goes, all right, now we're going to do some practice. And, and by this time the bass player had showed up as well. His name was Randy, and he was the coolest dude. And
Carla Thomas.
And, so the band, the three of them, Nick on the keyboard, Charles on the drums, and Randy on the bass, they start their practice. And I am not involved in any way. I sit at a table and watch their whole practice.
Yeah.
About
thinking
10 songs
surely
or so.
at some point they'll break and start doing some songs on the list.
Right. And then another guy shows up about midway through and starts tinkering on the bongos, like he's got like a screwdriver and he's trying to like tighten something on the bongos, and they do a couple songs with him. And there was one song that was really, really cool, and I think it's called I'm a Man. Y'all know that song? I'm a man.
Yeah, I sing it every day in the morning.
Okay.
Remind myself.
It's part of my affirmation.
He's putting on his deodorant.
Or lathering up in the shower.
Well, they played a bunch of songs, and a lot of them were really good, and they played a couple of more rock centric, like rock and roll songs, and those were really, really good. And then they get through their thing. It's a couple hours that we're there, and then at the very end, Charles goes, now you remember that song I played for you at the beginning? And I said, yeah. He goes, get up here and sing it.
All right.
And I was like, what? Like, I don't know it. That was the very first time I'd ever heard it. And he goes,
like
get up.
You failed the test.
Yeah.
He's like, get up, get over to this table, pick up that pad of paper and pen, and I'm going to play it again. And I want you to just write down the lyrics as you hear them. And I was like, okay. So I sit in a chair and he plays the song and I'm writing it down, and I'm doing some crazy shit with, like, I'm drawing arrows and stuff. Like, he told me to write it like I heard it. So I wrote it, and I was like drawing, and I was making the letters look like how they sounded. And it was really odd. It was a really cool concept, actually, what he told me. And he played it a couple of times, and then he was like, no, I'm going to play it to this part and you sing to this part. And then he had me get up and do it on the microphone. And the first time I did it, he was like, this is soul music. You gotta not hold out those notes for so long. You gotta stop it. You gotta punctuate it. And he was like giving me all these tips. And I was, I said, I'm going to try my best, but this has never been my style. This has not been the kind of music that I've ever sang. And he was like, oh, I know, but I already know where you are, but we're going to get you there. And so he's given me all these tips and pointers, and I'm singing through it a couple of times. And then the band is also learning it because they had never played it either. And I guess we sang through it a couple of times. I learned it about halfway through, I'd guess, maybe a third of the way through. And then he was like, "Okay, that's a wrap. Have a good night." And got up and walked away. And I was like, "Wow, okay." And Nick, he stayed on the keyboard, and he was looking at me like, "I got to do something." And he starts playing the beginning of "Separate Ways" by Journey on the keyboard, and I'm still standing there, and he goes, "You want to sing this before you go?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, that's my song." And so he's playing it, and he's playing it perfectly. It's brilliant. And I got up on the microphone and I sang it, and they all listened. And afterward, when I was done, the bass player told me that I did a really good job and that I have a very clear voice. And Charles told me that I sound good. And Nick ended up coming in to work the next day, and he told me that Charles said that I sounded good. And it seemed like nothing, it was just like, sounds good. But he said that he never says that. He won't say that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, it was definitely not the evening that I expected it to be. And as it turns out, I guess I have the spot if I want it. Like that apparently is my song. The song.
But what does that mean? What does it mean to have a spot?
The spot.
You get to be in the practice space.
Have to go.
They play.
You get to hang out.
They play.
They play gigs. They go out and they play.
They do.
Yeah, they play at restaurants, and they, people hire them and stuff. Like, they play gigs, and they have a couple of different girls, I guess, that sing different songs for them based on the voice qualities that they have to offer. And
who are these sluts? We got to get rid of them.
The vibe that I got was that it's one of those bands, like, there's a lot of members because not everybody always has the time to do it. They're not always available, so they have a lot of members. And this particular day, a lot of those members didn't have the time, but they mentioned how they're
busy getting their dialysis and
could be
fucking...
it actually could be. But
I thought you were gonna say dick sucked.
Not from what I'm hearing about this band. I don't think so.
Not this one.
Well,
yeah.
Back
so
off.
do you guys want to hear just a little snippet of the song that she has been singing?
No, this is the one that they wanted you to learn.
Yes, yeah. This is the one that I had never heard before.
All right. I'm gonna let you know. I'll listen to it and then let you know if you can join my band.
Here, I'll make it where you guys can see it too, or the people in the. Let's see. What do I need to do here?
It's probably not going to be interesting to look at because I think it's just the back of me that was facing
right. But
away.
That way people can kind of see the see the environment.
Right.
And there you go. And then I stopped because it was one of those, do this little part and then stop and then back it up. It's practice. If you've never been to band practice, that's the way it goes. You do a little part and then you back it up. But I mean, she was hitting it right off the bat, I thought, and they seemed to be digging it. I mean, but there was only like one or two times that they actually ran it, and I don't know if you guys ever actually went all the way through the song. I don't think you did. You went through like a chorus and then maybe a second verse or something. But yeah, this is the little practice space we've been talking about this whole time. And it's not on Park Avenue, so we didn't
exactly what I imagined.
Yeah. With some airbrush artwork on the back wall there. Yeah.
Cityscape.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically he said after that, when he said that's a wrap, have a good night or whatever, he's like, we'll see you every Thursday and Sunday. And I said, whoa.
Wait a minute.
Like,
I'm not going to be able to commit to that. I'm sorry. And I talked to Nick about that the next day too. And I said that I really just can't. There's no way that I can. And he said, well, that's fine. You can just, do the work at home and then show up when you can. And, if there's a gig that aligns with the time that you have free, something like that. So I guess it's just kind of a loose thing that I can do whenever I feel like, maybe at this point.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool experience. And even though it was not how I expected it to go, I was still happy with all of it. And I thought that it was a really cool thing to be able to say that I've done.
I thought it was gonna be like, hey, let's jam and let's have some fun, and then it turned out that like Charles is a very serious guy when it comes to soul music and playing. Like this was an audition, but Bekah didn't know that. It sounded well.
Half of it was seeing how much you would put up with.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know what the purpose was behind a list of songs. I think Nick. I mean, Nick's been around him long enough that I think that he probably thought there was a possibility that maybe it would just be some fun playing some different songs, but maybe that's not what Charles was feeling that day.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like an open mic night kind of deal.
Yeah, with people there. Yeah, that's like she said. I thought there was gonna be not like a big crowd, but maybe some friends that they knew.
Some groupies.
Yeah, so some people that they're friends with. They'd like to hang out and
some crew sluts,
drink and have fun at the practice space.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was cool. It wasn't what
Bekah. You gotta at least get one gig so we can see what we gotta find out what happens, for real. Play at find some sleazy bar. Play at that'd be awesome.
Or go when some of the other girls are there, and so see how the dynamic works with see if they give you the hairy eyeball.
See what the competition's
the
like.
hairy eyeball.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
One more time.
I heard we have a voicemail.
Oh yes, yes we do.
Oh, goody gumdrops.
Oh shit! Hold on. I had it pulled up before, and then let's see. Is this from today? No. Hold on. I gotta sort by date. What? You're not gonna sort it by the date? Oh, it's this one.
Have you listened to this yet?
No.
I cannot wait for this fake ass coronavirus thing to be done and over with, so I can see my good friends at the Knox by Night band play again while I drink too many beers. They said they were going to let me play with them too. All I got to do is keep moving their equipment and something about cleaning balls. I don't, but they're going to let me be in the band. I just got to keep helping them move equipment for no charge. And also sit outside in the rain with the gear. I can't wait.
Oh, we actually played last weekend.
And did you not tell him?
He follows our Instagram. Didn't think I need to tell him.
Your Instagram? Is that how you make your announcements? Is on Instagram?
That's what the band does.
You take a picture of yourself
fan,
going.
You'll Instagram.
He follows it. He puts it on Instagram,
your brother's
Facebook.
Your brother's like, dude, when's the next show? You're like, check my Instagram.
I don't think there's any worse platform to alert people of shows than Instagram. I guess you could post your flyers on Instagram. But
yeah, that's what it is. But he missed out on that one.
He is obsessed with your band. He fucking loves it. It was like.
Yeah, we started playing it again.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun.
And you've got a quarantine song.
Yes, we got a quarantine song. It's Jolene. Just the the original song's Jolene, but we turned it into Quarantine.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
Bekah, can you sing a little bit of that?
Sing a little
sing
bit.
Sing Jolene, but
say quarantine instead of Jolene.
Mm-hmm.
Say quarantine instead of Jolene. Quarantine, 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 quarantine.
Yep, it's just like that.
That's it.
That sounds right.
I need
exactly
more
what
words.
Buford sounds like.
Yep.
Please don't touch me just because you can.
Don't take your mask off just because you can.
Okay. All right. Are we up to the game? Is that what we're going to do a game? Is that it? Is that what we're doing?
I'll tell y'all real quick that you can now
Game
sign
plan?
up for a mailing list with Starlink. They're getting close enough.
Okay, Starlink update.
Yes, you can sign up for a mailing list, and they'll send you updates on when public beta is available in your area. So that tells me that maybe more people than you might think would be eligible for it. And we have the 10th batch going up next week. 10th batch. We're doing it quickly.
I sign up for that.
So
I want
many
them-
batch.
Yeah, go to
I want those
starlink.com.
stocks.
Starlink.com. I don't think the stocks are coming anytime soon. After that came out, that they were looking into it, Gwen Shotwell was being interviewed, and she's like, that's not happening anytime soon.
Damn.
Like, they want it to be up and operating before they go public.
Probably a good idea.
I can.
Let's see if it works first. Yeah.
Here's another thing where there's this big federal fund. There's like $16 billion that the government is going to give to different companies that can meet an expectation or a goal of low latency, high speed internet, regardless of how they do it. I wish I would have remembered that this was a thing, because I would have figured out what it was. I think it's like sometime in the next month, SpaceX has to demonstrate that they can produce a low latency connection in order to be eligible for this grant money or what's the word? Subsidy?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Subsidized?
Yeah. It's a $16 billion pool. I don't think that each company is going to get that. I think it's, slice it up. So they have a little while to prove that they can actually have super low latency internet, and then they'll have access to some of this money.
Okay.
And that'll be good. And they're also selling rideshare programs. They just before we went live, they tweeted that they have sold or they have booked 100 rideshare payloads to go up on Starlink launches. Of course, SpaceX foots the bill for their launches because they launch their own rocket. But they're now able to make a little bit of money taking just a couple satellites. Like the one that just launched the other day, they had 3 they're called SkySats, and the company is called Planet or Planet Labs, and they're Earth observing satellites. And so they paid SpaceX to take 3 of their satellites up along with Starlink. So they only launched 58 Starlink satellites on this last one in order to accommodate 3 of these SkySat satellites. So they're able to make a little bit of money while they're launching their own satellites. So that kind of brings the cost down a little bit for them.
Right.
So yeah, they booked a bunch of payloads to do that, make a little cash when they're also footing the bill for their own launches.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, they'll pass the savings on to you.
I'm gonna sign up to that email. I need better internet in the forest.
Yeah, I've signed up like a week ago and I haven't gotten a single email yet, so they don't blow you shit up.
Well, that sounds good. No, we don't want any blowing up.
No.
Nothing blowing up. Okay. Becca, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. It's not so much a game as more of just a fun thing to do.
Okay.
So you know how there's those like things on Twitter where it's like weird question, or not Twitter, but like Reddit, where it's like weird questions and everybody answers them. It's like, so it's kind of like that. So it's just a bunch of weird ass questions that I just want you guys to answer.
Okay.
Here's one to wet your whistle, and you better all have the same answer to it, or else it's over. Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Wait.
What are we talking about?
On the roll, over.
No,
over.
Under. Yeah.
No.
It's total.
Well, okay, we can talk about both situations. We can talk about how it sits on the roll.
It's unless you have
Brett,
a cat.
This is just a warm-up question.
Over.
It's over.
Over.
The answer is over unless you have a cat.
Yeah. I still do over.
Yeah, I still do too.
I don't have to worry
My cat
about the
doesn't fuck
cat.
with me.
though.
Beat
doesn't
that. A
do
cat
the thing.
fucks with toilet paper. You just beat it. They won't do it again.
Because they'll know why you're beating it. They'll understand.
You rub their face in the toilet paper, they'll figure it out.
They start touching that, they just throw them right in that toilet.
It's the toilet paper that's beating you. Not
Give them a
me.
swirly.
Yeah.
Flush it. All right. Okay.
Okay, if animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
Ostrich.
Badger.
Armadillo.
Wow.
Alligator. Probably, yeah.
A beaver.
I think alligators would be chill as hell, man.
Nah, man. I think
Hang out in the
they
water.
think we're all stupid. They
Their
just
nose
they just poke their eyes up and they just think we're all stupid.
Hey,
It eats kids from Disney.
Yeah.
There's signs all around saying, "Hey, don't come in here."
Your kids are the perfect size. They're like a morsel.
There's that place in Florida. I don't know if it's still there, but it's called Lion Country Safari, and you can drive through, and it's like a savanna. There's lions and all kinds of shit running around out there, and then there's ostriches, and they will come up and they will peck at your car. They're little assholes.
Oh fuck! Oh, and llamas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Llamas
llama's
are
already
rude.
rude.
What about
Yeah.
peacocks?
They're rude as fuck.
Yeah. Peacocks don't give a fuck.
Fuck.
Like they know
There's
they're
one around my house right now.
they
I
know
hear
they're
it.
protected and they will run out in front. They will run out in front of you.
Are peacocks protected?
Here they are.
Oh, that's so lame.
You need to just capture them and then ship them up to Tennessee, where we can take care of that for you.
Them's goody.
Yeah, we got plenty of them.
They probably are. I mean, they're probably about the same as turkey, I would think.
A lot of muscle. Those feathers. You know, they gotta
Oh yeah.
shake those feathers. Probably a lot of meat there.
Well, ass muscle.
Yeah.
Do you think squirrels are rude or stupid?
Is this part of the game where you
No,
just
this
asking
is
for
just
yourself?
my question because I feel like squirrels are
Okay.
rude, but they might just be dumb.
No, I don't. I'd say rude. You ever had a squirrel bark at you?
Squirmish.
Yeah.
No.
Squirrels will get pissed. You walk under them at the wrong time, they get pissed, and they'll make noises at you.
That's my best squirrel right
That's
there.
pretty close. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
pretty close.
It's a
Yeah, they'll make angry noises at you.
That's my answer. Squirrels.
Yes, it sounds like an aborted, mutated baby. That's exactly
Yeah.
what the squirrel sounds like.
All right, here's another one.
All right.
What part of a children's movie completely scarred you for life?
Never-ending story with the horse in the mud.
Artax.
Artax.
That movie is pretty. It does get pretty dark, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's a
Scarred
movie
for
where
life.
somebody gets eaten?
Well, it's not a children's movie, but the movie that always fucked with me was The People Under the Stairs.
Salem's Lot fucked with me, and it's not a children's movie at all.
How did it? Salem's Lot.
I swear, man, I was allowed to watch that fucking shit when it came out in the 70s on TV. Man, that shit kept me up at night, man.
Oh yeah, their rating system was different back then.
Anybody else got one?
No, I don't have one.
Nah.
Really? There's no
I mean-
scene from a movie that.
I'm trying to think of something because I was terrified of demons when I was a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think, but my parents were pretty strong about not letting us watch things. So I don't,
I think Child's Play got to me. I did have I think it's
Yeah.
fairly common, but I had a lot of dreams about like my toys coming to life and trying to kill me.
Here's how bad. I mean, I can't say a movie, but here's how bad my fear of demons was, which I will say was definitely pushed on me by my dad because he was very much at the time he had gotten really hardcore into this whole like demonic warfare shit. But I remember I was probably like 9 or 10, and we were in a Bible bookstore, and my dad is getting whatever he's getting because he was a children's minister, and I was just wandering around. And I see a book that is about it's like about the end times or something.
Yeah.
And it's got this picture of this fucking painting. It looks like the cover of a fantasy novel or some shit. It's got a pentagram on this, like, on the ground, and then there's like this fucking dragon coming out of it. Like, it's obviously some Book of Revelation shit.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, and just the fact that I saw that, I believe that I was now open to demonic suggestion. So I was fucking terrified. So anytime I would see any image like that, I would then think, I've just opened myself up to the devil, and now they're gonna come and fuck with me now.
Yeah.
That's what my childhood was like.
Yeah.
All the time.
Man.
So no, like, you talk about Bambi or some shit, I don't care. Yeah, like, that doesn't.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Mine was Airbud.
What?
All right.
I believe it.
I can explain.
Yes, please do.
Because you thought that your dog would be able to play basketball.
Then you pushed
And then
him off the roof.
you threw
It
your
gave me unrealistic expectations for the athleticism of my future pets. No,
Just kept throwing a basketball at Gypsy, and she just
Taking it to the
hitting her in the face.
Just looking around.
No, there's a scene getting closer to the end of the movie when the kid, Kevin Zegers, fun fact, that's his name, he was forced to get rid of the dog, and he didn't want to do it, but he had to, and he took the dog out into a field, and boy, did that dog love pudding. So he brought a cup of pudding, and he opened it and set it down on the ground, and then while Buddy was busy licking the pudding, he ran away and left him there.
Oh, I was hoping he was gonna like shoot him or something.
No,
Yeah,
it was
I thought
like
you were
the
gonna say
Fox
shot
and
him.
the Hound when the woman left the fox in the woods and drove away because she had to do it for what was, I guess, better for
To get the
worth.
insurance money.
I don't know what's going
Oh
on.
man, that reminds me. One time I was out delivering over in Maryville, out in kind of the boonies, I guess, and saw a dog that I was like, I know this dog, and like 2 or 3 weeks prior, a good friend of mine's parents had taken their dog, or had gotten rid of their dog. Okay. And that's all I knew. Got rid of their dog. But then I delivered out in the boonies to this house, and I see this dog, and of course it would be better right now if I could remember the dog's name. Oh no, I do. Kane. The dog's name was Kane.
All right.
My friend was a big fan of wrestling at the time.
Oh, I bet he voted for our mayor here. Yeah.
Maybe. And it was the same dog, and I went back and I asked him. I was like, what happened to Kane? He's like, oh yeah, my dad just took him out and like left him somewhere.
Gotta love that shit.
I was like, dude, that's fucked up. Well, I mean, my friend didn't have any control over the situation. It was his.
Sure, yeah.
It was his
He didn't
dad that
sound
did it.
very broke up about it, though.
Yeah.
he didn't
It's
know.
just that's what we do to all the dogs
We
we
didn't-
don't want anymore.
So
Yeah.
at least a nice family found the dog, and
A nice family found the dog, and
Yeah,
it was
well, there you go.
it was doing okay.
happy ending.
Yeah, but that is so fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Did you say, by the way, the dog's name is Kane?
Yeah. By the way, yeah, this dog. Yeah, I know
I
this
told
dog.
you- Have I told you the story of my childhood dog?
No,
What happened to her?
I don't think so.
Anybody? That's good. You're gonna
Well,
hear
good.
it now.
Yeah.
I had a dog when I was a small child. I was very afraid of them. And so my dad thought that it would be best for my sister and I to have a dog in the house so that we could get over the fear because we were both terrified of them. We went to the pound and we got this adorable little Cocker Spaniel, and her name was Webby. And my mom named her because she had webbed feet. And I had her from second grade until I was 14. And when my parents got divorced and my mom got remarried and my stepdad moved into the house with us, and he hated that dog. He hated animals in general. And he had a couple of guns, and I knew that he kept his rifle under his bed. And one day I came home from work, and her leash was outside with the collar attached to it. And my mom said that she had squirmed out of her collar and took off running into the woods, which was not an unusual thing for her to do because she had done it a couple of times before. And she did not come back, which was unusual. And I checked under the bed, and his rifle was gone. And she never came back.
What did he do with the rifle? Did he bury it with her? I mean, he
It
should
was the
still
same
have
day.
it.
It was
He
the
should
same
still have
Traded
his
it for a
rifle.
basketball, and that's
was
why
the
it's
same
there,
day.
bud.
Probably in
That his
truck.
rifle was gone. So
Did you ever see the rifle again, though?
yeah, the rifle is back.
Asking
Oh,
the
okay.
important questions.
Yeah.
Now let's play
Becca, why don't
basketball.
why don't you contact him and be like, so did you kill Webby?
I could at this
You
point
son of a
because I've
bitch.
got
Right.
nothing to lose. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask
Yeah,
him.
you should get him to call into the podcast and tell
And
us.
tell the story of it.
Yeah,
tell
Yeah.
the story how he killed Webby.
In
That'd be good.
90 seconds. He's got 90 seconds to tell it.
That's probably all.
Dude,
it
that would
took.
be
It
the
probably wasn't even
darkest.
that
That
long.
would be the darkest shit ever to happen on this show. Oh, you want to hear the story? I'll tell you the story. How I fucking killed Webby.
Looked into that dog's eyes when I put the rifle right on her forehead.
One tear rolled down its cheek.
I dipped the rifle in some peanut butter and made her lick it off.
It's terrible.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad and wrong. It's bedong.
Okay, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest thing a guest has ever done at your house?
Well, I told that story a couple of weeks ago about the jerking off in the sock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably tops it.
Not my sock. I mean, poor Daryl.
Not
He
my
doesn't.
fault, not my problem.
Daryl doesn't get to hear that story. I don't think I need to tell that whole story again. You need to go back a couple episodes, bro.
We need to. I can't think of anything specifically for me, but I need to get Brian to call in and tell the story of this.
Oh,
guy.
he's got the weirdest ones. Yeah.
It's the weirdest fucking shit. He's got a few of them because he's the kind of guy that if he sees a homeless person, he'll just like, oh, you want to hang out? Okay, come on over. Come to my house for a while.
Wow.
Oh, you need a place to sleep? Oh, come on over. And he's definitely got a couple fucked up weird stories about doing that. But for me, I don't think I've got anything like that because I don't want people around. I don't like people. I don't want anybody over. Yeah.
I had somebody smoke crack in my bathroom one time.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
I was at my first apartment. I was probably 18 at the time. And there were a lot of parties at my first apartment when I was 18. And a lot of people I didn't know were invited into my home. And there was one time that a girl and a guy had gone into the bathroom and they had been in there for a while. And I was kind of pissed about it because we only had the one bathroom. And so I kept knocking on the door and they'd be like, just a minute. And then finally I just opened the door and they were smoking crack in my bathroom. So get the hell out of my house.
Smoking a lot of crack.
They left.
Yeah. I guess you probably really lose track of time.
Probably. And I guess that's not really that weird. That's just shitty.
I don't know. I've never smoked crack.
Yeah. I've only ever
Get
been in
back
the
to you on
room
that
while
one.
it is being smoked. I had a friend. I think I've told this story, but a friend of mine called up my roommate to tell him, "Hey, man, there's a guy in the corner." Like he thought he was just selling weed or something. I don't know. And he pulls so my buddy he goes up down to this corner, and he's like, I got what you need. What you need? And he just gives him something. He gives him money. He gives him something, and then he gets home, and it's like he just bought crack, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this. And he calls up another friend of mine. He's like, you got any experience with crack? And he's like, yeah, I'll come over and show you how to smoke it.
He's like, shoot, man, I got what you need.
Let me help you smoke your crack.
He's like, you want to try this,
I'll be
Steve-O?
right over.
I'm like,
It's
no.
Tyrone Biggums.
No, that's
He's
where
like,
that's where I
oh,
draw
man.
the line, man. I can't. Yeah.
All right, Becca. One more question.
One more.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Where is the strangest place you've urinated or defecated?
I've got it.
Inside, urinated and a glass of milk.
We've heard that one. Oh yeah.
Classic story. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your friend drink.
A
Yes, he did drink.
30-story building, and I've peed off a 1,800-foot tower platform.
Nice.
Feel those are unique.
The
building was today.
It's a fresh memory.
Just pee wherever you want. There's no cameras up there.
In the tiny town I used to live in Montana, they had those grain elevators, those big grain silos. And me and my friends used to love to go over there and just fuck around on them because you could climb up on them, and they had walkways between. There was like 5 of them, I think, and so you're just really fucking high off the ground and running all around and stuff. And one day I thought it'd be funny to take a shit off of one of those walkways and let it fall all the way to the ground.
Yeah.
You thought right.
That was absolutely correct. It was funny.
This goes splat when it hits the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
explode.
Yeah.
This isn't my story, but I'll tell someone else's story because I think it's so fucking funny. This is some people that were practicing Aikido in Chicago way back years ago, and they were staying at somebody's apartment that didn't have heat, and this was in the winter. And so there's a dozen people staying in this apartment, and it's like 30 degrees inside this apartment, and they've been drinking all night. And this guy was saying he was so drunk, like by the guy's door he had this trunk that opened up, and it stored all the shoes inside because he didn't have shoes inside his house.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy was saying he was so drunk, he got up in the middle of the night, he went over and he flipped that thing up thinking it was a toilet and just pissed everybody's shoes. And he did it. And he didn't just do it once. He did it, many times throughout the night.
Oh no.
And then he passes out. And so everybody in the morning is ready for this Aikido seminar. They get up and their shoes are frozen together in his pit. You're like pulling, you're like chipping your shoe away.
Oh man.
Don't get that drunk.
No.
I make it I have a policy of not getting that drunk anymore.
I had a friend, I saw him get up when he was super drunk. He started going to the bathroom and then he stopped and he walked into the kitchen where he had his laptop, and he opened up his laptop like it was a toilet seat and started pulling out his dick, and I had to run up wait. You don't want to do that, partner. And then corralled him to the proper restroom, pointed him toward the bathtub and said, "All right, go for it."
There was one time when I was a kid, me and my sister shared a bedroom, and we had a bookshelf next to the bedroom door, and she had, for some reason, her library books were sitting on the floor next to it, stacked up. And I got up in the middle of the night and had to pee, and I made it about that far for some reason, and I just pissed on her library book. And my mom was so mad. She made me go to the library and tell them what I had done and buy the book.
Wow.
And so since I paid for it, I kept it.
Your pee stained.
It was a Babysitter's Club
Twilight
book.
Did you read it?
Probably.
Did it smell
I
like
kept
pee?
it.
Did you lick your finger and then turn the page?
Did you lick the page and then turn your finger?
It's urines now.
Ah, he's back, baby.
Just biding his time. Okay. Bekah, I want to hear some poetry.
All right, then. Well, this one is called Holy Pole. Of course. A demon of a puzzle. You try to shut it down, but you're already hooked on the hunt. Frozen in a dark moment, like fish in a barrel, or the words of a song on a bathroom wall after too many beers. I sat through many an audition before I gave it up for good. I want to go to heaven, but not tonight. You must produce a connection to reopen expectations that know they're protected.
A good one. Thank you, Bekah. Thank you to Haywood Banks for our theme song. Always thank you to Haywood.
Yes, and thank you for Daryl for hanging out this entire time.
Thank you, Daryl. I think Daryl might be moving into number one fan, super fan. I don't know.
Man,
Close.
y'all throw that around so much.
Hey.
I got to make the others jealous.
It's
I mean,
gonna
they
mean
got to.
nothing.
they gotta
If
be
it's
on
so
their game.
easy. It's gonna mean nothing to them.
He's in the chat. I mean, he's in the chat.
There. He's
We don't see the other number one fans
watching
in
the
there.
show.
That's right.
Oh, and
True.
he said will do 7 minutes ago, and I think that's in reference to going back a couple weeks ago and trying to find the story of when a friend of mine jerked off into my other friend's sock, and then my other friend had to put the sock on
Spoiler
in the
alert.
morning.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
that was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It wasn't
sorry,
that
but
long.
it's hard to. I don't know. Maybe it might be in the description. I don't know.
Might have to look on.
Listen,
YouTube.
I gotta keep Scott. I gotta keep Jerry. I gotta keep these guys on their toes.
Yeah.
They gotta be. I asked Scott because there was something I want to ask him about. It's like, did you listen to the show weeks ago? He's like, oh man, I've been listening to the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. I'm like, oh, how are you gonna lose that super fan
How you going to
status?
compare us to that?
Yeah,
Yes.
Joe gets a little testy
Yeah.
about being challenged on it too, a little bit.
Yeah, what's the deal, Joe?
Was
Joe in the chat? Nah, he's sleeping.
Nah.
He's just sleeping.
Yeah, because it's too late. Because
He's
10:30
sleeping.
every Wednesday is too late for Joe, but it's
That's
not
right.
too late for you. And I'm just realizing that our little thing down here still says YouTube. I need to change that because we are now streaming on Facebook on our page. So like our page on Facebook, Verbal Assault Podcast. I think if you search for Verbal Assault Podcast,
Yeah.
also follow the Twitter _Verbal Assault _ Usually each week Nathan gives kind of a little preview of what we're going to be talking about and a link. Yeah. Hit it, Patrick.
Oh yeah. Show some love on patreon.com/verbal assault. Also be sure to like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review anywhere you get your podcast at. That'll greatly help us out.
Well, guys, y'all been doing good on the voicemail so far. Let's keep that up. Let's keep it up at that wonderful phone number 865-316. Well, 865-316-6955.
It's the best number.
It's the best number you could ever put in your phone. And,
Rolls off the tongue.
yeah, it just rolls right around like a quality wine. And Brian, if you're out there, you need to call up and tell us some of them crazy ass stories.
Just like shitting off a tower. Hi, deuces.